You are welcome back once again to Tumtum Network. My name is Cyrus. I have in the studio Joseph Nimo, our young economist who is still in school getting training to come out to be an economist. He wants to help Ghana because he's got so much knowledge and he wants to share some of that with us. But today he wants to talk about Bawumia. For some reason, people are still interested in hearing about Bawumia. And the topic for today is Bawumia under the wrong canopy? Is Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia under the wrong canopy, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get to it. First of all, I don't agree with that. And I know you totally agree with that.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is allow you to flow for at least 3 minutes. Give us your best shot.
Okay.
Why you would ever think Bawumia is a right candidate, but under the wrong canopy or in the wrong political system. Something like that. Okay. Give us the best shot with whatever knowledge you know of Bawumia. You have the floor.
Well, thank you so much in the first place. Welcome back to the channel, our cherished viewers and subscribers. As you've given the note, we're talking about Bawumia today. And let me make this clear. I am not, proving Bawumia as a right candidate, because what is really the matter is that I don't see Bawumia being an effective leader executing ideas perfectly. Now, the emphasis is on execution, not economic planning. Okay. Now, let me get into this. Because of this, we shouldn't also tag Bawumia as an economically impotent individual. Because we all have our, sides or our aspects that we can deliver perfectly. We gave Bawumia a nod as a vice president of Ghana from the year 2017 to 2025. If we have forgotten, he was the second commander-in-chief. He was not the commander-in-chief, second in command. So Bawumia became president only if Akufo-Addo was out of Ghana or was out of the scene, out of the vicinity. Now let's take a look at this. What we are coming to scrutinize today should show us that Bawumia really performed and did his job assigned to him as a vice president. Why am I saying so? He was not responsible for effective execution. I repeat, Bawumia was not responsible for effective execution. He was rather responsible for effective planning and recommendations. That is why you will see Bawumia as a head of economic management team proposing to the finance minister, giving the finance minister ideas. Now, when they go to parliament to present the budget, you will see Bawumia sitting down and looking at the finance minister to say what they've planned in favor of Ghana. Now, let me show you the difference here. If you were closely monitoring from 2017 to 2020, all the budget readings, Bawumia was in parliament to support Ken Ofori-Atta. But from 2021, never did we see that. What happens? In which budget was the e-levy, electronic transaction levy, introduced? 2021 budget. In which budget was the numerous taxes that we say caused the downfall of the NPP in the 2024 election introduced? 2021 coming up. Now, let me tell you something. The reason why I literally chose this particular topic is Bawumia under the wrong canopy to Ghanaians or to this show today is that Bawumia under the leadership of His Excellency former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta, was a worse experience. if you will recall, or if you have come across this, the former MP, I don't know, MP for Subin, Honorable Eugene, granted an interview with Joy News some time ago, somewhere in 2024. In fact, my brother, if you watch that particular interview, you will see that things are in people's mouth, but quite hard to say. I got some of his statements down. He said, why it is not in my nature to sit and watch our great party and nation being destroyed by one man, Ken Ofori-Atta. This is a word of Honorable Eugene Osei Entry. Subin said, I cannot sit down and watch our great party and nation being destroyed by one man. We are talking about a finance minister that 90 MPs came together, more than 90 MPs came together and told the president that, see, this minister, we don't want the minister. We have the minister that, according to this statement, when he made it, he said that I am reliably informed that they got to a certain time that if the vice president wants to see the finance minister, he needs to drive to his office at the finance ministry because there was a hide and seek thing. And he quoted that I am reliably informed. So I am also reliably informed that it got to a point when Bawumia wants to see Ken Ofori-Atta, needs to get to the finance ministry.
This is so convenient.
And
wait, hold on.
Okay.
I find what you are saying very convenient. That when politicians have failed, when their plans did not succeed,
okay,
that is when they come out and put up all these concocted informations. It is 8 years you were given.
Okay.
All right. If ever it happened to you that you were not allowed to do your job, or you were put second place of a finance minister, or you were put under the supervision of a finance minister, whatever that case may be, you had 8 years to say something.
Okay.
You had ambition to become president. I don't think Bawumia dreamt of that ambition in 2024.
No.
The moment they crossed 2020,
even 16.
Okay. I'm sure he may have sat with Anado and said, Anna, when you win the elections, you will help me also win and continue your legacy. So it could be 16. It could be even 2012. So if you have all this ambition and you know that your reputation is on the line as the head of economic management team,
okay,
because on paper, you are the head. So whatever damages that will be incurred, people will look at you and say, you did not do your job. And you are the one running for president, not the vice president, not the finance minister. I always try to put myself in his shoes and say, if everything they are saying about how he was suppressed or not given the opportunity or maligned or, blocked from exercising what he was supposed to do, I always try to put myself in his position and say, if I were him and I knew I was going to contest for an election and I knew this is what Ken Ofori-Atta is doing to me, what would I do? Because the moment you wait till the point where, whether it's true or not, Ofori-Atta does this to you, and for that reason your whole system is a flop, and you want us now to believe that it's because of X, Y, and Z, Ken Ofori-Atta, that is why I couldn't perform, nobody will take you seriously.
Now, let me set
and I'm not even done. Let me add this before you go ahead. Ken Ofori-Atta hasn't told his story.
Okay.
You see, there is always two sides to a coin.
Okay.
Everything Eugene, the MP for Subin, is saying is what the MP for Subin is saying. Ken Ofori-Atta is not saying anything yet. Wait till you hear Ken Ofori-Atta also say, oh, this is what they are saying, but this is my side of the story. Why would Ken Ofori-Atta take that power from Bawumia's hand and now be doing it directly with the president and malign him, is it because he thought Bawumia was incompetent?
Okay.
I'm not done. Is it because he thought that Bawumia didn't know what he was about?
Okay.
Is it because he didn't trust in the ideologies of Bawumia?
Okay.
So all these things must be looked at. In as much as I think Ken Ofori-Atta, personally, I think Ken Ofori-Atta should be investigated. I think he's the reason Ghana's economy went so bad.
Okay.
And should be investigated, and if found guilty, should be prosecuted and jailed. I will always say this to the man, at least for one reason, why he had to shut down Group Indum Bank, GN Bank. That thing broke my heart. The moment he did that, I knew this man is up for no good for Ghana. In as much as I don't like Ken Ofori-Atta, in as much as I want him to be prosecuted, if any guilt is found on him, any sin is found on him, I will still want to hear his side of the story before I believe that indeed he hindered Bawumia from executing what he was supposed to do. I will not just take the words of Eugene, Honorable Eugene, for it. Okay. I will not just take the words of people from Bawumia's camp for it. I will also want to hear the side of Ken Ofori-Atta. I don't know if that is objective to you enough.
It is quite objective. Now, let me give you a simple breakdown with this particular one. This is not an issue between Bawumia and Ken Ofori-Atta. This is two sides of a coin we are talking about, which has to do with planning and execution. They are two different things. So I am not saying that Ken Ofori-Atta overshadowed Bawumia and did not give him the chance to act or do what he was supposed to do. I am saying that Bawumia did his part and was not stopped by anyone. He did his part. So he owed Ghanaians no explanation because he did his part. And the part of execution was what was not met. Now I will show you why Bawumia did his fabulous part. Bawumia's part was plan, make recommendations, tell us what to do. In this situation, what should we do? In this particular regard, what should we do? You give it out, and the finance minister needs to include that particular thing in a budget, fund it. The president needs to assign to it, parliament needs to come in, and the execution takes place from there. But let's look at this. Bawumia's policies, Bawumia's recommendations, both in the manifestos that he spearheaded, in government initiatives he suggested, initiatives he brought up, none of them is leading Ghana into the pit. So what happened to them? It is effective executions. The people that were responsible to executing his ideas did not do their job. Tell me gold for oil policy is bad, and I will explain it to you. I will scrutinize it to you. Tell me
gold for oil policy is an evil policy.
Tell me, listen.
No, let's take
we
it
will
back.
get there. We will get there.
I want us to start it from right there.
Yeah.
Because the moment you hit on something that is of very importance to me,
okay,
I'll not let you glide over it.
Now, before we move on to the gold for oil policy, I will want to ask you a question. That do you believe that Bawumia's duty was planning or execution?
I believe Bawumia had a duty to undertake. His duty was to plan. And his duty was also to make sure that he and the president were on the same side. He and the president, not the president and the finance minister. Remember, he and the president fought a war. In order for Nana Addo to win an election, it wasn't because Ken Ofori-Atta did something.
No.
Hold on. People voted for Nana Addo because they saw Bawumia and said, wow, this guy is dynamic. This is the first time we have seen a running mate to a presidential candidate who is talking and doing seminars in school and meeting people and breaking down economic policies and sharing ideas. He was a phenomenon. new person on the scene, never seen before. People looked at that and said, even if, because Nanado even said it. Nanado said, for me, I'm not an economist. That is why I have gone for an economist. Good. So that where I am not strong, good, he will hold me up.
Good.
So people were not just voting for Nanado.
Good.
They voted for Nanado and Bawumia. So what I'm saying to you is, Bawumia's job was to recommend whatever.
Yes.
But was also to be on the same page with the president, because the president is very much aware that he won the seat because of Bawumia. He won the seat not because of himself only, but because Bawumia came in with a different energy, and it resonated with a lot of people. And they said, no, this team, this tag team is good enough. So at every point in time, you cannot separate them. So if it gets to a point where now Bawumia is no more relevant, but the president is dealing with the finance minister only,
good,
you will have to give me a real legitimate evidence that Bawumia was totally sort of disconnected from. I mean, they shut him off.
I have all of them here.
And I hope you can prove it. Because
yes,
what I'm saying to you is, if you talk about the policies of Bawumia being policies which would have never driven Ghana into the ditch we went in, I'll tell you, let's name it one by one, and I'll punch holes and show you how detrimental some of these policies were. For instance, I'll take you off on that journey. Gold for oil. Listen to what I'm saying to you, because I've done mining before. In order for you to even talk gold for oil as a government, Bawumia just proposed the idea, and I don't know if the people around, I don't know how they were perceiving it. Look at it. In order for you to propose gold for oil, you must have gold. At the time they were proposing gold for oil, Ghana's total reserve was 8.7 tons of gold. 8.7 tons of gold. Ghana is the biggest miner of gold in Africa, biggest exporter of gold in Africa. We are bigger than South Africa, bigger than all of them. Our national reserve was 8.7. A country like Singapore, which has no lands to mine gold, their national reserve is more than 200 tons of gold. So when Singapore wants to do gold for oil, it makes sense, because they have so much sitting down. You don't have a mining company that is mining gold for you.
Please.
No, I want to punch you the hole so that you understand where, when people start to praise Bawumia and they want to use some of his policies.
You are punching the holes. Let me fill the holes before
let
we
me
punch
let me
more
add
holes.
2 more holes.
Let me
Hold on.
fill the holes before we punch more holes.
Listen, I will add these 2, and then
Okay.
you can fill them, and then I will stop there.
Okay.
You don't have a mining company that is going to supply you the gold. You don't have a mining company. You don't have any serious policy that will ensure that the gold comes in. People who mine gold in Ghana,
I will hit you back with your words.
I have no problem with that.
Okay.
People who mine gold in Ghana, because I've been a miner, I understand the industry. They are financed. I'm talking about local Ghanaian small-scale miners. They are financed by people, whether private people or people outside of the country, including Chinese, Indians, Russians. So every gold they mine is given to those financiers. If you are a government sitting in the Flagstaff House and you're expecting to intercept that gold and use it as your backing to buy oil, you got it wrong.
Okay.
Because the people who have financed it will be the people who will receive it, whichever way is necessary.
Okay.
Whichever way, whether they smuggle it, whether they come and pick it here and take it away, whichever means, you will never know. So what I'm saying to you is, the moment you dream of gold for oil, you first do your homework. Do I have a mining company that will supply me the gold? No. How much gold do I have in reserve? Only 8.7. Can I really sustain this going forward? It's a joke, because you can only buy as much as you have. How much gold you have, that is as much as you can buy. And you don't have supply. How do you sustain this moving forward? All these things were nice policies, interesting to hear. But when you understand what mining is and you break the numbers down, you realize, no, it cannot work. Because, look, local miners, they will never mine and give their gold to you at a price that will be convenient for you.
Okay.
They will mine and sell it to you at the international price, the world price. That is what they do.
Now,
the only difference is they will only sell it to you with the local currency. So when the prices are going up on the international market, you still have an advantage. But every time you come and buy from them, there is no discount. And there is nothing like, give me, I'll pay you tomorrow. They will take their money on the spot.
okay.
If you understand all these dynamics, you know that Bawumia didn't sit and plan the goals for oil properly. He just felt, oh, this policy will be nice. Let's use it to intercept what is happening with our downfall of our Ghana cedi. Something we need in the short term, but in the long term, there was nothing to it. You have the floor.
Now, the fact of the matter is that if you say that Bawumia got in with gold for oil without having a strong policy that could sustain it, I would say that is quite not the case. Because the tenure of President Akufo-Addo was in two folds. First term and second term. Bawumia, as an economist, knew that, hey, it is importation that is causing, much demand for dollars. So even if I have some reserves that are short-term, policies, let me keep them. Let me tell the people, or let me tell the leaders that let's move from taxation to production. So if we are moving from taxation to production, let's bring the Ghana Commodity Exchange platform. Let's bring this. Let's bring warehouses. Listen, let's bring all these things to boost production, stabilize prices, fight inflation, fight the demand for dollars, and we are good to go. He brought that particular policy. The execution aspect, once again, didn't work for him. They couldn't execute it effectively. Like I said the other day, that the article or the act that the NDC is seeking to review in favor of 24-hour economy, the problem is not the act, the problem is execution. So Bawumia proposed this, but the execution didn't go on well. That was in the second term that he began to realize, no, these people are failing to execute from taxation to production. So let me come in with, at least the city is depreciating a lot. So at least, even if it's a short-term thing, let me come in with it, something that will not deal with the government, but will have a direct dealing out of taking Oforiatta out of the way. Let me deal with the Bank of Ghana. What can I do? Because that particular production aspect did not work with the execution. And as a thinking and innovative economist, sat down, at least it could be short term, but he said that before we do gold for oil, let the Bank of Ghana start buying reserves.